يلا مولانا له يجهز نفسه. ايه بعرف، بس امبارح شفت شو صار. يلا 1 2.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I welcome all of you again, wherever you are in your daily program of Fatwa on air or Fatwa online. The first question tonight: can a woman who already performed Hajj to make Hajj on behalf of her husband who died, if she promised to do that? If she already have made Hajj, so what's gonna stop her? It's up to her. If she wants to, they can. The men should not make Hajj on the men and the women on the women. No, they can do it on each other. And they are all obligated the same, except what the woman or one of them is required to do. And the women are equal to men. Men, whenever they hear this hadith that they're less, no, they are equal. That a woman should make Hajj on behalf of a woman, or a man should be on behalf of a man. No, they could do the other. The only condition the Prophet ﷺ told us that you have to make Hajj on yourself first, and then you could make Hajj on whomever you want after that, in your father, anyone who died before, or who is incapable of performing the Hajj. May Allah accept from me, and may Allah accept all the good deeds. Ameen. Second question: the one is asking a woman that she had a sick person, and the doctor told that he will not live too long because of his severe problem. So she said to herself, if he lived until next year, until Eid al-Adha, I will slaughter an udhiyah on him. What is the rule on this udhiyah? The udhiyah, who made another on udhiyah, this is another of obedience. Whoever made another to obey him, you need to obey him. But this udhiyah, it will cover him and cover the whole household if you want. You can do that. This is not. This is another of obedience. So follow it. Those can be hate to say like as if you are rewarding Allah. If you did this, I will do that. No, these scholars they say there's one that's absolute and that's specified, and that Allah Azza wa Jal in the compliment to those who fulfill their nadr, that they fulfill their nadr and they fear a day that is very severe, painful, and I mean, the whispering in Allah's might, is there a sin? Yes. If you go to the atheist websites and you get with them and debated them, of course you have put yourself into these doubtful areas and put yourself exposed. But if there's something that came to you, don't worry about it. Just don't follow it. Say, I believe in Allah. Seek Allah refuge from the shaitan regime. Stop, don't follow it. The shaitan come to all of us, whisper in Allah. Like he tell him, for example, Allah created everything. So who created Allah? This is one of the tricks of the shaitan, and from a long time ago. If you start this, they say, I believe in Allah, seek Allah refuge from the shaitan regime, and stop and don't follow. So we have to separate two things: to bring these doubtful things with by getting indulgent with the people who are non-Muslims, who promote non-Islamic and doubts about Allah Azza wa Jalla, falsehood. They deserve from Allah what they get. If you expose yourself to this kind of trend, you are blaming yourself. But if it came to you and there's whispering from the shaitan, ask Allah Azza wa Jalla from the shaitan regime and seek his refuge from him. I didn't follow on it, then inshallah there is nothing wrong with that. The companion asked the Prophet ﷺ, "Oh Prophet of Allah, we have things that we think is too high. We wish we could enter it because it's too big for our soul. We wish we could fall from a mountain that to see this kind of whispering in our soul." He said, "You found it? This is the pure faith. It's not the whispering, but to fight it, to hate it, not to commit to it. This is the core of your faith." So this between things that are you have no weight, you have to push it, and the one that you go to it yourself, that you open yourself to it, you make yourself exposed to it. And the solution, as we said, if it is from the first side, immediately cut yourself with the atheists, with those who promote falsehood, and have good companionship that will lead you to Allah Azza wa Jal, that will increase in your faith, and you have the best of speech. And know that the good companion, just like the one who gives the musk and the other one, is an honest method. So anything that comes to you and you have no power on it, then the solution, ask Allah Azza wa Jalla from the shaitan regime. Do not follow those thoughts, and to stop it immediately, and stop it to say I believed in Allah, and then ask Allah Azza wa Jalla the refuge from the shaitan regime. I have family out of 6. Can I buy a house because of the need and to protect my sons from America? I ask Allah to bless you and your kids and your family, and to raise them a good Islamic way, inshallah. So I say, originally, that you should not immediately run to non-Islamic institutions. Go to Islamic. There are so many Islamic institutions, so many banks, a financial institution. They don't give you loans. There is no investment loans. The loan has to be good, but it comes good investment that is allowed. Murabha, Musharaka, so many different names and technical names for it. And we have beautiful examples for it. We have good Islamic institutes like Guidance, UIF. There's several of them. You could go and find them on imga.org website. So go to the amjaonline.org and you will find all these institutions and the decision that has to do specifically with these companies. That's what you start with. And don't say, listen to those, these are like this. No, they're not. This is the one who is desperate, who don't know how to was going to throw the Islamic experience with one word. No, that's not fair. There is shortage. There is definitely we did not reach the ultimate, the optimum of our experience here, but some is better than nothing. Don't if there is light, and even though it is small light in a very dark area, it's better than the darkness, complete darkness. So you go from the doubtful to the thing that are certain that is haram. No. So be careful. There is Islamic institutions try to take advantage of it. Some but said that some they say, well, they don't get to the state where I'm in, and now I need it. I'm not gonna be homeless, but it's very tough, especially too many kids. You have to rent 2 apartments instead of 1, and you go from one to another. So if you reach that desperate area, and there is a need, then you will have an excuse. But you have to look at your mufti in your area that you trust their judgment, and tell him exactly your situation. Let him understand it, and he will value for it the need that you really, and what you can do and what you cannot do. And may Allah allow you to have the halal, the permissible things, than over the non-permissible things. And I understand every person who asks me that question, it shows the concern to follow the guidance of the Islam. This shows goodness in the hearts of the people who are asking these questions. The second question here: is it allowed to work in the financial institution through the computer? Like I buy and sell. Like, can you deal in the American market? He's talking about the but how short, or you have to have the hold, or to sell what you don't own, or what you haven't held back, and you cannot sell what you didn't get yet. The only thing, and Malikiya and others, to so if the company that you are market in the goodness and their mechanism of permissible ways to deal with its shares is okay, but the things are mixed. There is details. Some completely forget it, and some that allowed to deal with it with certain ways, and not to go over 30%, and the parts that are bad, there's like certain specific things that you have to look into to amjaonline.org, and you will find the specific answers on how to deal with the stock market, what is it allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do, what you could buy and sell, and when it is something that is mixed, you're confused about the percentage of halal, you could look at all the specific details, what you can do and what you cannot do. And make this Amja online that it made 16 conferences, international ones. So don't miss the debate that happened between the scholars about this to come with a beautiful fatwa that solve the issues of people outside the Islamic world. It was mentioned that he alayhi salatu wasalam made witr 5, 7, 9. Did he do this, or did he pray 4 before it or after? Well, he used to pray 2 rak'ahs of sunnah after Isha. Then you could do a tarawih or tahajjud or witr, the night prayers, with the number that Allah allows. The guidance that he will not exceed 11, 13, but that does not mean that this is the ceiling you stop at. No. Ya alayhi salatu wasalam, he used to pray long. When he prayed 4, don't talk about how beautiful they are and how long they are. People could not know. They get tired to make the qiyam like Prophet ﷺ. So with they increase the number of the rak'ahs. So whoever 20 or 18, whatever, is very good. At tahajjud tarawih, it is no ceiling. Minimum is 2, and there is no limit after that. Whatever Allah gives you and allows you. I'll go back to a question here. A man asked questions. He said, we are combining Maghrib and Isha because of Corona. And one of the prayer came late, and we already started Isha. He came in the first rak'ah with Maghrib. He thought this is Maghrib, not Isha. And he continued in the 4th one. So what does he do in that condition? Does he do sujood sahwi or what? Well, the similar, when someone is traveling and he wanted to make Maghrib and Isha, then he stopped at a masjid. He found people started Isha. What's better for him, to pray Maghrib first individually, or does he enter with the congregations and make Maghrib later on? First, let's answer these questions before see the other questions. As far as the first one, about with the intention of Maghrib, he did not know is he praying Maghrib or Isha. He thought it is there, but there were praying Maghrib, and he was surprised to see the Imam stood for the 4th. So what is his proper way to do? He have 2 choices: to sit down after the 3rd one and wait for the Imam finish from the 4th and make salam with him. That's one. The second one, if the Imam stood for the 4th one, then he make a tashahhud and leave. So he finished a Maghrib. Then if he had time to go in the last rak'ah, it's fine. As if he had the congregation and both prayers for himself. So he is better because he did that. But of course he didn't do any of that. He did not understand what to do. There's nothing wrong with what he did. And the Imam take the sahu anyway. If you're behind the Imam and the Imam, he will take the burden of the mistake, and except if you took one of the part. I'm behind the Imam and then do a ruku'. And after you have to break a rak'ah. But the obligations, as sunnah, the Imam, he take the burden of all the mistakes and the part that he is being followed. But if you made the mistake individually, then you take that responsibility and you make the sujood as-sahw. The explanation of that I am free from any Muslim who lives among the disbelievers. The Muslim that he fears for his practice of Islam, that he lives with people do not fight Allah and Messenger. So if there's residency, there is no affliction in the religion, that you live peacefully between different religions, it is okay. As long as you can practice your own religion. And the Amja online that they said that they have details on when can you live, when is haram, when you fear for yourself and those that you cover. And this is for people who do not migrate, and the Muslims, they use them against the Muslims to fight the Muslims. And sometimes the Muslims will kill them. They don't intend them. The disbeliever, they use them as a human shield. So whomever died, he don't have a diya because he himself by living with the non-Muslims. So and they have institutions, and you have ability of freedom to practice, and that we sometimes don't see it in some Muslim countries. Then it's different. What is the selling of al-murabaha? Beautiful question. Al-murabaha, to have, like you bought 10,000 and he told the buyer, I bought it for 10, I want to sell it for you 12. It is a sale that the seller tells you how much he paid for it. They used to hate that type of sale because this really depends on the decency of the seller. If you bought something for me between the husband, wife, or the son, like you could say that because there is could be a special case in selling and buying between the family. So if you said, oh, I bought for 15, as if it is the right, no, it's not. Ahmed, he said, I like to argue about the price. Al-Murabaha is to sell with the knowledge of how much is the profit. Shafi'i said, if a man showed him the merchandise and he told him, buy it and I will, but the seller, he don't have it, I will buy it from me and I will make you, but he still there is he still have a choice. He could do it or he could back up. Some to Islamic go to the Islamic bank, say, buy me this bank, this house, and I will buy it from you with an extra profit. But the problem is in the promises. Is it obligatory or not? The Shafi'i said you should understand there is a risk that the buyer is gone, so he cannot profit of what he cannot guarantee. Every time the bank could go through an effort and they did spend money, and I changed my mind. Sometimes some mention that are not easy, like someone say, I want you to prepare dentistry. These are customized item. It's not like a standard one. It's arranged for only the specific areas that you're building with. So what about the work, the effort? They said, leave us a solution. We are going through losses. So what is the solution? So after different argument, they have debated between the promise and the mu'ada is like it's an obligation from both sides. Because it's a contract. So if the contract between the buyer and seller, it is okay. Then he have sold what he don't have. But leave it be a promise that's obligatory from one. It does not have to be from the other side. They said it can be from one side instead of two. This is the buying of al-murabaha. Promise in the beginning and contract at the end. If the bank owns it, after that they can sell it because he owns it. So he do not sell what he don't own. Difference between the dua of sujood and sujood, nothing. It's the same thing. We go back to others ask a question that I have. Our brother is asking, whomever donated the slaughtering for an Islamic institution in America, they slaughtered and after Eid. For us already superseded by several hours, and we didn't have the Fajr yet in our place. So is it okay in our Udhiyah? Because for no, feel good. You have put someone to slaughter on your behalf, and the representative have to go with the rules of his area of residence. If he prayed Eid in his, then after that he could slaughter, and that's in your behalf. So there is not a burden on that, inshallah. So if you bring slaughter before your own Eid, it is okay because it goes with the day of the slaughtering or the time of the slaughtering of the person who is representing you in the slaughtering. question here about removing the hair with the laser surgery, especially in the areas of private part. What are the rules for women or girls who use laser to remove the from the laser? And that laser, that necessity, like you're putting that thing in, and this is so she could beautify herself or her husband. I mean, first, to remove the hair, it is allowed. With this was Sharia allowed to move it in the places of private parts. It's from the nature that you can, laser or not laser. To remove it from these areas, it is allowed. That's why it was ordered in some areas, some situation. Now, the private parts. Before we go into this, as experiences, and a question to doctors, a lot of doctors it's not a surgery where you need it's a lot easier than people think. I'm talking about specifics. I heard it directly from doctors. There is doctors, they allow who wants to meditate, she could do it by herself without the doctor, and the experience is very easy. So there is a service that's self-service, and that will take you out of somebody look at your private part. But the second question, if that is not there, in other places, under the arm bit, it's okay. If a woman doctor did that, not a problem, except what's underneath the shoulder. The private part, it has to be a necessity that is close to necessity. The Hanabal, they said about removing that part to shave it for those who cannot do it. Someone sick, like elder people, they need to remove that, and because of their age or the sickness, they don't have the capability. From the Hanabal who allowed that type of removal of the hair. They said not a problem in doing this for those who cannot do it right. Let's go at the rules of Dawra. Aziz ibn Abd Salam, in his book about the rules to cover those private parts, is obligatory, and it is a moral one. In particular, the woman, and it is allowed for the necessity and the needs. And each of the husband and wife, they have their own way of determining the necessity, and also like to cure and to looking at the private part. And they said it is required. You only look at the necessity because of the looking at the fear of al-khitan. So every time you come close to the private part, you came close to the forbidden. So I hope that you be careful. There's different types of forbidden, and not like it's different levels. Recommended is different levels. The highest of hatred is the first step of forbidden. The least of hatred, it is close to permissible. Go from 1 to 100, for example. Forbidden things are not equal. And that's natural. To look is different than committing adultery itself. The intercourse. That's why As ibn Salam said, looking at anything that goes to the thighs, like looking at the private one. I mean, so the summary on this, that the lady in need with the doctor to see if she can do it herself. If she is in desperate need and she cannot do the self-training, then at that time maybe she can use a female doctor who can perform it. And to leave it is better. And alhamdulillah, they allow to have someone at the time of need. Whomever have to help a sick person is just like the doctor in the touching and cleaning and preparing for wudu. And the same thing when you shave someone who cannot shave himself. And he's talking about elders. So I hope it is cleared. Another good question here. The husband of my sister died. He left some money and a house. He's a merchant from Madud, and he had a big house. And then he passed away. And then they said, what do we do with that money? And he asked a sheikh, he told him to go ahead and sell it. But we told him to stay away from. But before he died, he promised he would never go to that again. And he repented to Allah. And we think that he is truthful, inshallah. But he did not get rid of that money yet. And then he died. So what is the rule of that inheritance that he did? So what does she do? His wife, does she free herself from this money or take it? And the sign of good end happened from quoting the statement of Islam before he's died. And he's take care of orphans and elderly. That means that Allah has accepted his repentance. And so I'll start with the last one. That part, sister, the unknown is to Allah Azza wa Jal. No one can, no matter what, to confirm for someone if he is accepted the repentance or where he's going to end up. But we seek that is goodness. We hope for the good doers, and we feel sorry for the sinners. We cannot confirm that Allah has accepted or not accepted, because this is something in the knowledge of Allah. Only if Allah said that He has forgiven so and so, then it's up to Him. Definitely will never end up saying La ilaha illallah. This is a sign of goodness, and we hope goodness for him. And whomever last statement was La ilaha illallah enter Jannah one day, no matter what happens to him before that. Allah will not accept to be for having partner with, but He forgive him whenever He wish. This is one. Second one. Let's assume that Ramadan is from the thing that the medicine that cannot be dealt except that is through very like for necessity in the hospital, but not for entertainment and happiness. And to deal with that part, definitely it's not allowed. But the scholars, they have a dispute as if it was forbidden to gain, to earn, is forgiven when it moves to the inheritance, or is the haram only in the of the people. So there is some rest that does not fall down ever. No matter that stolen money stayed 100 years, it will still under the burden of the person who stole it. Because still the money of the original owner, the rights of the people will not fall, not accept by paying back. But what is forbidden is gaining or earning. What is forbidden, like alcohol, it is forbidden for itself. So, person who died and who have, you have to get rid of it. You have pigs, you throw them away. But if he has used it before and he heard the forbidden for the earning of it, the majority that just like it did not allow it for those in his life, should not be a reason for those who inherit, because the death will not make the money permissible. The four scholars are in that part, but there is one other use. What America say about some saying Hassan al-Basri and others, that it is allowed for the one who did not earn it, because the prohibition only in the beginning, so it came to somebody else. It's money and has nothing to do with the way that it was earned. The person who died is the one who gets the burden, and the one alive gets to enjoy it. What is the proof for this? They said the evidence, Salah Al Sawy, his dealing with the Jews in Medina, buying and selling, and those, even though that they used to eat riba and eat people's money falsely. Amen. This is from the proof that the other evidence that the prohibition on the burden of the one who earned it, not the transfer of the money. Because the money by itself is not haram, but the haram is in the way it was gained. but it went to others in a permissible way, and it's not stolen or oppressed from someone. So as long as it's not part of somebody else's earning, it is okay. And they said that he alayhi salatu salam in the hadith of Hurairah, when he entered in front of Aisha, he said, there's meat. Hurairah, and forgives her charity, and don't eat charity. He said, for her it's a charity, and for us it's a gift. When she took it, she owns it. That was her money, but it came to us as a gift. Has nothing to do in the origins of it. That's the new description. It is charity and it is a gift for us. So Ibn Uthaymeen says, look at Hurairah. They were, and Aisha, they were given charity, and one time he saw it on the fire, and he was not given the meat. He said, didn't I see the meat on the fire? Yes. But it was a charity on Hurairah, and you don't eat charity. It is charity to her, and for us it's a gift. So he sees that the forbidden on the person who earned the money, he's responsible for it. But when it goes to as a family, it will be permissible. And this goes to insurance, for example. And someone died all of a sudden, money came from the insurance. They can, the one who died, his captivity from Allah. If he's good from Allah, so this is a matter from Allah. The last thing we conclude with, do not slaughter except an older one. If you can't, the one did not have the so that's like the meaning that you should not slaughter anything except the one that already reached the age. The goats and lamb, it's after a year, and for the lamb it's 6 months, but the goat it is 1 year. Inshallah we'll continue on the next time. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله